Oh, hey there!
Oh, hey there.
I'm Kate.
And I'm Bradley.
And we are...
The History Buffoons.
That's right.
Yes.
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 How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah, it's kind of a long week, but...
Yeah, it felt like it.
Yeah.
But, you know, we made it through.
We sure did.
On to record another episode. Why is that funny?
Because I killed it this week.
Yeah?
Yeah.
How so? Do tell.
Lots of research.
Yes.
Lots of writing.
Yeah.
Just, I killed it.
What is it?
Writing for our podcast.
I know. I was joking.
Yes, I killed it.
All right.
I'm also excited because you surprised me with a beer.
I did. So, as we've said, hi, Penny, multiple times on this podcast, I like to drink Liney's Summer Shandy. It's my go-to everyday beer. And we were picking out podcast beers a week or two ago, and we saw that Liney's has a new Liney Lodge Lime.
Leinenkugel has a Liney Lodge Lime, and it's a bright
Green.
lime green can, and I love it.
And tell them the style of beer that it is.
It is a Mexican-style lager with natural lime flavor.
Yeah, which is right up your alley because you love your Modelo's
I sure do.
with a lime typically. So,
And if you didn't know, Leinenkugel is from Milwaukee.
well, it's from Chippewa Falls, but they just actually...
Oh, it's from Chippewa Falls and also Milwaukee.
So they just recently, apparently, I saw something on this. They just recently closed like operations down at the original brewery.
Really?
I believe I saw that.
Oh, so are they like just full-time in
Out of Milwaukee.
Milwaukee now?
Yeah, but they're from up in Chippewa Falls. Yeah. So like the Liney Lodge, which is their store and beer room and everything, is still there.
Yeah.
However, apparently they don't brew any beer out of there anymore, is what I saw. I think that's right. I didn't look into it.
What kind of beer do you have?
Oh, dear, I got caught on my quad. So I have a beer that's been long awaiting to try.
Oh, okay.
Didn't have to interrupt, but here we are. So, as you know, our first fan, Al, he is still in the beer business. That's where he and I met many years ago. And he currently lives out in Nevada. Mm-hmm. And he works for a couple breweries that he's part of, I guess. And one of them is Avery. And they have a Maharaja IPA. He told me, because he knows I like IPAs, that I should try this. And then I went to the store, couldn't find it. Ooh, I found it. Holy balls. It's almost $15 a six-pack.
Holy crap.
So the first time I saw it, I'm like, I'm going to wait. I guess I just wasn't prepared to spend $15 on a six-pack at that time.
It better be good.
However, this week I was prepared, apparently, because I currently have a six-pack here. Maharaja. And so it's an Imperial India Pale Ale, 10%.
Holy smokies.
Yeah, so I have two of these queued up.
I had two Leinenkugels queued up.
I might be feeling a little saucy at the end of this episode. So,
okay.
Thanks for the suggestion, Al. Here we go.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, I can't wait for this.
I'll let you try it first. Usually we cheers each other, but...
Oh yeah, cheers. I'll have another sip. It's fine.
Pretty good? Mm-hmm. It's not too limey?
No, it's not too limey. I still prefer Modelo.
Sure.
But this is a great little substitute.
Okay.
I like it.
There you go.
Yeah, I will keep drinking it for sure. It will not go to waste.
Well,
I promise you.
You'll at least keep drinking it till all six are gone?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's our new term.
Yeah, absolutely. All the kitties are put away except for Penny and Amos.
That's really good.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Ooh. Hold on while I take a second sip.
Worth the $15?
Yes. Thanks, Al. Great choice or suggestion. The funny thing is I told him how much I got it for, and he's like, that's a great price.
Oh, wow.
But he also lives out in Nevada, so not sure what the pricing is out there.
Yeah.
Definitely could be a little higher, but that's really good.
So it is now like mid-afternoon.
Yes.
And Amos is pretty on the dot when it comes. Well, actually, he's really not. He's fairly early when it comes to wanting to be fed. And he is the most vocal out of all 5 of them put together.
Oh,
all of them put together.
I've been over to your house close to feeding time.
I swear he yells at me.
It's what he's doing.
Oh, my God.
He like walks around and just yells, and then he'll walk up to you and yell.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
To say he's the most vocal is an understatement.
Yeah, but like you can't really pick him up or like snuggle him and he's a scaredy cat. He's like the quintessential scaredy cat.
Yeah, that's pretty much. If he was alive when they created that term, they would show a picture of him.
Yeah, he would be in the dictionary as scaredy cat.
Yeah, but
AKA Amos. So if he interrupts us during this, that is why it's almost dinner time.
That's all right. We'll make do.
We'll okay. I want one more drink before we move on to our story.
I'm glad you like it, though. I know you said you like your Modelo better, but I'm glad you're enjoying it. So.
It's got a liney taste, like your summer shandy.
Sure,
it does have that. Taste.
They have obviously a distinct kind of process, and now that it's all macro through Milwaukee, which is unfortunate. I liked it better when they were just up in the Chippewa Falls, but they've been brewing them down in Milwaukee for some time, so that's also why summer shandy's year round nowadays. So
okay, you ready for this?
I'm ready for this. Let's do this.
Okay, so this story came from Nathan. Okay, he heard it off of the TV show Letterkenny. I
know of it. I've never watched it.
Same.
Yeah.
He finds it absolutely hilarious.
I think it was my brother, one or both my brothers, unless I'm mixing up a show. But yeah, I've heard.
And I think it's a Canadian show.
I believe that's correct.
Yes. So, for some reason, this Canadian comedy show talked about a particular story.
Okay.
And I'm going to talk about it today.
Well, I kind of gathered that.
Based on my intro?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yes.
I did the thing.
You did it. You did something.
Okay, so we are going to talk about Lizzie Cyr.
Cyr? Like S-E-E-R?
No, her last name is spelled completely different.
Okay.
Her last name is spelled C-Y-R.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Lizzie Cyr. Okay. So not much is known about her other than through her arrest records.
Is she Canadian too?
She is.
So you're going to tell me what's all about her?
What's all about?
What's it all about?
So she was 5'6", brown eyes, dark complexion. She was born in Canada. She has First Nations and European heritage. She was born in 1888.
1888, wow.
So at the time of our story, she was 29 years old.
That's 2 stories in a row that you mentioned 1888.
Why do you have the memory that you do? Oh, my God.
The funny thing is you meant to say 1889.
1888. Okay, I'm going to show you a picture of Lizzie Cyr.
Okay.
She's supposed to be 28. She is 28.
Wait, she's 28 in that picture?
But doesn't she look like the unsinkable Molly Brown or something?
She looks like she was rode hard and put away wet, for sure. Holy balls. Yeah, and she does look like the unsinkable Molly Brown.
She does.
Wasn't she like 60, though? Yes. Or something like that?
She's 29.
Actually, she was probably 40, but, that was 1912,
yeah.
So. Wow.
Okay, so her occupation in her arrest record said wife.
Okay.
And she was arrested for...
being a wife?
Vagrancy.
Oh, she was a vagrant?
They called sex workers vagrants at that time.
Oh, okay.
So she was arrested for vagrancy.
Gotcha.
Okay.
So her vagrancy had a vacancy? She liked to fill it?
Wow.
Podcast gold.
Are you sure?
Nope.
Okay.
Actually, I'm pretty sure it's the opposite.
Pretty sure it's turning my finger gold. I mean green.
Here on History Buffoons podcast,
it's turning my ears green.
There it is. Wow.
Okay.
It's more like some fool's gold over there.
Super fool. Okay. The guy who basically got arrested, his name is John James Ryan.
So is that how they got a John as the name? Okay, John's James.
He's starting early.
Oh, hey, dinner time. I mean, it's not, but it's dinner time.
So he gets her arrested on May 17th, 1917.
Okay.
They did know each other for a while. And just a few days before this arrest, she was down on her luck. She had no money, nowhere to go. And because they knew each other, he let her stay at his place.
So if she was listed as wife, where was her husband?
They were getting a divorce, I believe.
So they were estranged?
Yeah.
In a way?
So, okay, fine. He lets her stay, right?
Sure, yeah.
And then he pays her $10
to make her holler?
to make a holla.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Wait, make him holla?
Whatever.
I mean,
doesn't matter. No judgment. But she gets sick the next day.
Oh, dear.
So she's stuck at his place for another night, essentially.
Oh, man. So another $10?
By Sunday, though, John James Ryan.
Yeah.
How boring of a name.
I mean, pretty.
I know.
Pretty.
By Sunday, he's had enough, and he kicks her out.
Okay.
A few days later, he gets sick.
Oh, dear.
Of the rhea.
The Ghana?
The Ghana of the rhea.
Wow, that sucks.
He has gonorrhea.
Well, I bet she does too.
And of course, he blames Lizzie.
Well, why wouldn't he?
But you know what? He's had this fucking disease before.
Yeah, it's probably from him.
Yeah. And instead of going to the doctor, he goes straight to the drugstore.
That's weird.
And then he tries to blackmail her.
Okay.
If you pay for my meds, I won't call the cops.
But, so I'm confused. What is he calling the cops on, though?
Vagrancy.
I mean, that seems kind of loose at this point.
Boom.
Thank you. Glad you got that. But you know what I mean?
Well, she tells him where to go. Straight to HE double hockey sticks.
Hey, we're a family show.
And he calls the cops on her.
Of course.
So they grab her that afternoon, and she's literally got nothing to her name. She doesn't even have a dime in her pocket. Okay.
Crazy.
So Cyr was charged under Section 238A of the Criminal Code, which states, and I quote, not having any visible means of subsistence is found wandering abroad or lodging in any barn or outhouse or any deserted or unoccupied building or any cart of wagon or in any railway carriage or freight car or in any railway building, and not having a good account of himself, or who, not having any visible means of maintaining himself, lives through without employment. Blah, 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 blah.
They're really specific about locations there.
Yeah,
I mean, that's pretty wild that they would, outhouse? I mean, seriously. I mean, I understand the time.
So all in all, she's a criminal. Okay.
Well, she's a vagrant.
So Lizzie Cyr's arrest was rather commonplace, obviously unsavory, but it would have faded into obscurity, right?
Sure.
However, it became a catalyst for a major legal development.
Oh, dear.
Which I will get into later.
I hope so, because now I'm intrigued.
You are on the edge of your seat.
I mean...
Just kidding. He's really not. He's sitting far back into the couch with his legs up and beer in his pocket. Whatever.
Beer in my pocket?
I was actually going to say in your pocket. The day after her arrest, on May 18th, 1917, Lizzie Cyr went to court.
What's her name?
Cyr, Lizzie Cyr.
Lizzie? Mm-hmm. Okay.
No jury.
Of course. Why would they have one?
Vagrancy wasn't considered serious enough for that.
Sure.
So she was left solely to the mercy of the magistrate.
Ooh, magistrates.
With only her lawyer, John McKinley Cameron, to represent her. Okay. So John McKinley Cameron was quite the character.
Yeah.
He was a lawyer from Nova Scotia, which is, on the east coast of Canada.
Sure.
Okay. He started out representing mine workers, then moved out west to Calgary, Alberta.
Oh.
Do you know where Alberta is?
Canada.
Yes.
I am not wrong.
It's like the second to last
On the west?
Western.
Because what's the
province.
furthest west one? Because
British Columbia.
That's where Vancouver is, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's British Columbia on the far west, and then Alberta.
You would think I'm 45 and I fucking don't know any of this.
I know I'm just as bad. I actually did a lot of like research on the maps and stuff. Talking about this case, but
because like I knew where Vancouver was. I knew that was British Columbia.
Yeah.
I know of Toronto. I don't know which territory is that in.
Is that Manitoba?
I don't fucking know.
Shit.
No, we're buffoons.
Yeah, we are.
I mean,
we pretty much already called ourselves out, but
we did because our name is literally buffoons.
Okay, hold up, Cameron. He's now in Alberta, Calgary.
Yes.
Okay, which is like central Alberta, but like to the west, or excuse me, to the south. Central to the south.
I have a question.
Yes, Bradley with his hand up.
Do you know the hockey team in Calgary's name?
No.
The Flames.
All right, trivia, folks. There you go.
Their logo is a C with some flames coming off the back.
Cool.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Hockey, eh?
Cameron opened his own firm, and criminal law was his focus. Okay. So he was brilliant. Everyone said so. He knew the criminal code inside and out, but he was also kind of unconventional.
Sure.
He would wear mismatched suits.
I feel like they make movies about people like this.
Probably. Yeah, absolutely. Mismatched suits, sometimes even rubber boots in court.
What?
Yes. He'd occasionally sleep in his garage loft with his hunting dogs.
Oh, that's cute.
A little quirky.
A little eccentric.
But he was serious about his work.
Okay.
He took on cases that other lawyers wouldn't touch, especially when the clients were like super poor or like fringes of society kind of thing.
Yeah.
Minors, immigrants, vagrants.
So sex workers?
You know. Uh-huh. But he had a real sense of justice, so it seems.
Well, that's a positive.
Yeah. I'm going to take a swig.
Because you would hope that he has, kind of that demeanor to try and help these low lifes, we'll just call them, for lack of a better term.
Yeah.
Or unfortunate people, whatever you want to say. So, I mean,
down on their luck.
Yeah, it's nice to have someone fighting for the little guy.
Yeah.
I sound like I'm a politician there.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the funny thing is, politicians never fight for the little guy. Anyways.
Okay, so right from the get-go, Cameron, the lawyer, went on the attack.
Yeah, of course. You gotta fucking fight.
Yeah, so he immediately declared the charge against Cyr as having no basis, pointing out that many women in Calgary didn't earn an income.
Right.
But also weren't considered vagrants.
Sure.
Okay. He entered a not guilty plea, and then to really shake things up, he argued that the magistrate didn't have the legal authority to try the case because the magistrate was a woman.
Well, shit.
Mm-hmm. So Ryan.
Why does that matter?
Oh, I'll tell you.
Okay, good.
Uh-huh. So Ryan, the John, John Ryan, he gets up to testify first.
Testify, brother.
Yeah. And Cameron just like nails him. So he's sharp, but he also got this kind of like witty edge.
Sure.
So he basically uses Ryan's own words to make him look
like an idiot,
less than virtuous.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, that too. Gonorrhea.
Yeah. And it really made you wonder like how much Ryan was actually like what he was saying was actually true.
Right.
So now my favorite part of this whole thing.
Oh my word.
You and I, Bradley, and I, we're going to role play.
Oh, Jesus. Is this what you put on my computer?
I put a file on his computer, and we're going to read it together. This is his first time reading it.
Oh, my word.
So if he flubs, it's only because it's literally, he's sightseeing. Sightseeing? No, sight reading. That's the word. He's sight reading.
And the worst part is, I never learned how to read. Is that all true? Everything but the reading part. Sorry, that's from a movie. Name that movie. Give you $5.
I don't know.
Cool. I saved $5, folks.
What was it from?
Wayne's World.
Oh, I've only seen it like once.
It's not my fault.
Open to your computer.
Oh, I wasn't told that I should actually do it.
Yes, we're going to role play, and you should have the document pulled up.
Says Bradley, read the red portions.
Yes, that's right. Good job. Okay, so I am playing Cameron, the lawyer, and you are playing Ryan, the John. Okay?
Oh. Well, let me get into character here. All right.
So, When did you consult a doctor about your gonorrhea?
I did not consult a doctor about it. When it started running, I went to the drugstore and bought some medicine.
I'm sorry, running? It's got to be some kind of discharge.
I'm just reading what's here in front of me.
I know. I'm putting in commentary.
Oh, okay.
Okay, back to Cameron.
Because you made me feel stupid about that.
Back to Cameron. When was that?
The day before yesterday.
What doctor did you see?
I did not see any doctor. I went to Mr. McGill and told him what was the matter, and he said, I know the medicine you need.
Are you still running at large?
Jesus Christ, with the running. I am not running at large. I have got a home and working every day.
Got a family?
No, I am not married. I rent a home and I stay at home every night.
You are going to behave yourself and leave the girls alone until you are cured?
Yes, I am.
Okay, so here's the thing. Cameron was driving it.
Yeah.
So he made it clear that Ryan wasn't exactly a model citizen when it came to public health.
Right.
He pointed out that Ryan had contracted the disease before, and by his own admission, he was a regular client of sex workers.
Right.
So Cameron's argument was that Ryan was just as likely, if not more, to spread the disease.
Sure, makes sense.
By sleeping with other women, he'd be the one creating a chain reaction, spreading it through the city.
Right. Spreading it. Wow, that's...
Spreading, yes.
Ooh, epidemic.
Me as Cameron. Outside of getting diseased, was there any other objection to her?
The objection was I did not want to keep a prostitute in the house, and she did not want to leave. I mean, touche.
You took the prostitute to your house?
Yes, for one night.
And after one dose of gonorrhea, you thought you should not have a prostitute in your house? You are sure you were absolutely virtuous and could not have gotten it from any other woman? So, Cameron really dug into Ryan at this point. So...
Okay. I don't mean to interrupt.
Yeah.
I read the next two lines, and it's fucking fantastic. It's so basic, but it's so great.
Okay, so Ryan wasn't exactly known for his monogamy.
Clearly.
He admitted to seeing other sex workers, so Cameron basically asked how could he possibly pinpoint Lizzie. Ryan's answer was that she was the only one he'd been with recently. And Cameron with his dry wit just replied, "You are very moderate." What do you do for a living?
I work. That is so great.
Are you working now?
Well, if I was not here, I would be working this afternoon at the Central Methodist Church. I mean, he's very straightforward.
Yes. I think you will contaminate the church. Are you still going to work for the church?
Yes. The adjutant. Adjutant. Oh, yeah, there. Look at that. I should read forward. The adjutant phoned me down at the Salvation Army.
Did you reveal to him that you had gonorrhea?
No, I did not.
What work are you going down there? Because we do not want an epidemic to break out in the church.
Epidemic of gonorrhea.
She is charged that on the 17th day of May, she had no visible means of support. You don't know that she is a decent married woman?
I have seen her around.
It takes two to have sexual intercourse. Are you a decent man?
I guess I am working and earning my living. What the fuck?
I don't know.
I wish I was in this courtroom to see this because I would just be laughing the whole fucking time. Seriously, I guess I am working and earning my living. What?
Okay, so Cameron definitely got the better of Ryan in court, but Ryan wasn't naive. He knew the system.
Yeah.
Being a man with a steady job, working at a church, no less, and a place to live, he had a clear advantage. Okay. It's why he probably felt safe reporting Cyr, even though he was basically admitting to his own involvement.
Sure.
And he understood the public's fear of venereal disease and how prejudiced they were against certain groups.
Yeah, makes sense.
So you see, while Calgary had been pretty lax about vagrancy and prostitution in the past, things had changed by the 1910s.
Okay.
There was a real push for moral reform driven by church groups, citizen organizations, and women's groups. And they were putting pressure on the police to clean up the city.
All right.
And the police were responding. They got more organized under new chiefs, and they were really cracking down, closing down all the brothels in the city.
Okay.
So beyond just like moral outrage, there was a huge fear of venereal disease.
Sure.
And even though it affected everyone, it was mostly blamed on quote unquote immoral women.
Well, yeah, because they're the ones who got around to
Yes.
the Johns or whatever, blah, blah, blah.
Yes.
But
Historian David Bright points out that women were so worried about public health that they were willing to overlook individual rights. So with that kind of atmosphere, plus the existing prejudice against métis, which I will explain, and
good.
Indigenous women, Lizzie Cyr was really up against it from the start. So
100%.
Métis refers to a distinct indigenous nation descended from unions between indigenous peoples and Europeans.
Okay.
And is one of the 3 recognized indigenous peoples in Canada, along with First Nations and Inuit.
Really?
And we've talked about Inuit in the Whiskey War Origin of Weird Story.
Sure have.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Okay.
So Ryan strategically painted Cyr as a threat to public health, constantly mentioning her infection.
Sure.
And he went so far as to say she shouldn't be running around carrying that disease, doing this and that. He also added fuel to the fire by mentioning her separation from her husband, even more damaging, insinuating an improper connection with a Chinese man. Now, he knew that, given the era's deep-seated prejudice, this would further discredit her.
Right.
And I will say, the next role-playing section here, Chinaman is mentioned. However, they had a derogatory term, and I'm not willing to say that. So
you're allowed to say it, you just don't want to.
I don't want to say it.
There's a difference.
So the derogatory word is now going to be called Chinaman. Okay.
Can I ask you it later off of podcasting?
Sure.
Okay.
But you are going to begin this section.
Sure am.
Go ahead, Ryan.
I knocked at the door and it was locked. A few minutes after, she opened the door and a Chinaman was in the room with her.
The Chinaman was there for the laundry?
The door was locked.
Did you warn the Chinese man against her?
No. When the Chinese man seen me, he walked out. Sorry.
You don't know if he took anything away with him or not?
No, they were in the room together and the room was locked. Wow.
How do you know you have gonorrhea? Did you consult a doctor?
It started running.
What started running?
My penis started running. After a man gets one dose, he knows a little about it. I'm sorry, hold on. I got to redo that one. After a man gets one dose, he knows a little about it. Sorry. I'm trying to get into character here.
You did not consult a doctor?
No. That's funny.
So, after Ryan, they called the arresting officer, William Simons, to the stand.
Okay.
Also, thank you for the role playing.
Yes, you're welcome. Thank you for the interactive podcast.
So Cameron started questioning him about the arrest, and it turns out Cyr admitted to taking the $10.
Okay.
But there was zero proof she'd given Ryan the disease.
Well, there's also probably zero proof that she actually did anything with him. I mean, there's literally no proof except for word of mouth from these two people.
Word of mouth, he said, she said.
Yeah, exactly. Literally, he said, she said. So
Cameron was pretty direct, asking Simons, you don't know anything about the facts. You don't know if she gave him gonorrhea or anything. And Simons admitted, no, just what he told me.
Just a Chinaman. Wait, what?
Okay, but then, out of nowhere, in the middle of the arresting officer's questioning, I guess?
Yeah.
Judge, or the magistrate.
Yes.
Alice Jameson.
So she was still... And are you going to get into why she shouldn't have been on this?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Out of nowhere, Magistrate Alice Jameson interrupts.
Yes.
Lizzie Cyr, 6 months, hard labor at McLeod.
You can't just fucking do that.
Cameron was stunned.
Well, yeah, like, how does she, like, she's hearing this testimony or whatever, and just says, nah, fuck it.
Yep.
Hard labor, 6 months. Fuck
Cyr
you.
didn't even have a chance to defend herself.
Yeah, that's bullshit.
And Cameron was furious. He said to the judge, I shall see that your decision is overruled.
Fucking A, right. I wish he had a gavel of his own.
So it's really shocking, especially considering Jameson was appointed specifically to give women a fair trial. And it seems like she completely missed the mark.
Clearly.
And according to historian John McLaren, female magistrates brought a unique viewpoint to the bench, quite different than males in the same position. The difference really showed in how they dealt with the vice, especially with women who were seen as wayward, like sex workers.
Right.
They were particularly outraged by how young women were being exploited, and they felt that male officers, prosecutors, and judges were often too lax, unfair, and even insensitive in how they applied the law.
Oh, dear. Okay.
Now, just because they were women, it didn't mean that female magistrates were going to go easy on vagrant women.
Well, of course not, because depending on their mindset and whatever, they're going to be like, fuck this bitch. Yeah, she's giving us a bad name.
Exactly. So while they might have shown some leniency towards younger women or first-time offenders, they were pretty tough on anyone that was like unrepentant or hardened, so to speak.
Sure.
So figures like Jameson and Emily Murphy, who was the other female magistrate at that time.
Okay.
So there's only 2 women magistrates at this time.
Sure.
They really believed that these women needed to be locked up for their own good to reform them, essentially.
Yeah, because that's always worked.
Maybe Jameson looked at Cyr's record and decided that she needed like a wake-up call or something.
Okay.
But in the 4 years leading up to her arrest, Cyr had been arrested a few times, mostly for being drunk and once for vagrancy. And the longest
she was arrested once prior to this?
For vagrancy, yes.
Okay.
Yes. So she's not a first-time offender.
Right.
The longest she'd served was 60 days for that vagrancy charge.
Oh, wow.
So when she came before Jameson again, she got the absolute maximum sentence allowed by law.
Which is the 6 months?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So she actually did kind of get off relatively lightly. Jameson could have added like a hefty fine on top of prison time, but she didn't.
Sure.
And I will tell you like what Cyr did.
Okay.
So Jameson was kind of in a tough spot. Cameron, the lawyer, his challenge to her authority during Cyr's trial was probably just one of many that Jameson faced.
Sure.
He'd questioned her qualifications just 7 months later again.
Jesus.
So it must have been incredibly stressful for Jameson.
I would think.
She actually did speak about this in an interview with the Calgary Daily Herald in 1920.
Okay.
She said, quote, "Being the first woman magistrate was no position to excite envy, I assure you." She admitted she had to deal with a lot of prejudice from lawyers and the police. She described feeling completely unwelcome when she first started and even thought about quitting. But then she said to herself, quote, "Well, I'm here and I'm here to stay." End quote.
All right.
So it's possible Jameson was just trying to prove herself?
It sounds like that's a very good possibility. Hard to say for sure, but I mean, that's not uncommon, I guess, for people to do that.
Yeah.
So.
But historian David Bright points out that in 1917, being a prostitute or a vagrant wasn't really about proving specific crimes.
Right.
It was more about proving someone's lifestyle.
Okay.
So, and that's what happened with Cyr.
Sure.
So Ryan basically, Ryan basically painted a picture of her as someone who lived a certain way.
Right.
He mentioned her infection, which was used to label her as being immoral. He said he'd seen her around, saying that she was a known offender. And he highlighted that she was broke, had left her husband, and associated with other considered undesirable.
Do you think someone would really go around saying that, like saying those things? I mean, that just doesn't seem right.
If there's something in it for him, I guess.
Well, yeah, but I mean, I don't know. I just find that weak. Anyway, sorry, continue.
No, that's okay. So John McKinley Cameron was not one to take defeat lightly.
No, I mean, he wore rubber boots to
I know.
the courtroom.
So bold.
I mean, in case it flooded.
Exactly. He was going fishing afterwards.
Well, maybe he's got to get them trout.
Yeah.
I heard they got some good fishing up in Canada. My dad went fishing in Canada before.
Yeah?
Yeah. He was supposed to take me. Still waiting, Dad. Just kidding.
So Cameron was actually known for his persistence and appearing before the Alberta Supreme Court of Appeal more than any other lawyer in a 20-year span.
Wow.
He's like, fine, I'll go to your boss.
I'll go to your boss. Fuck you, man.
So after losing...
It's kind of like, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, I'd like to speak to the manager.
I would like to speak to your manager. So after losing Lizzie Cyr's case in Jameson's court, he wasn't about to let it go.
No, he's like, fuck this.
Whether it was simple stubbornness or something deeper, he decided to challenge not only the verdict, but also Jameson's right to be a magistrate.
Okay.
Damn.
Going for the guns here.
Oh, yeah. Because if she isn't allowed on the stand, then it's going to get overturned, essentially.
Well,
and he
yeah,
would win that case with Cyr.
He's basically going through the back door.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Dirty. He first went to Justice David Scott of the Alberta Supreme Court.
Okay.
Scott dismissed his application, even though he admitted he had his own doubts about women holding office.
Oh. Wow, that wasn't misogynistic at all.
He basically said, quote, I have my reservations, but this isn't the right way to challenge it.
It's funny that he did not want... He clearly showed his hand at women are inferior.
Yeah.
And again, we're talking about the 1920.
Yeah, 1917 to 1920.
Yeah. So I get it. I understand the time frame and the mindset back then, but it's like he didn't care for those people in those positions, but he's like, yeah, but you still can't do it this way. So it's really kind of funny that...
Yeah, I agree, but no.
He's like, yeah, but no. It's just funny because clearly, again, different times, 100 years ago.
Yeah.
And you get these people that are like, women should be in the home doing my laundry, making dinner, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But there's obviously women in these certain high positions. But he's like, nah, we're still not going to go about it that way. Even though he
agreed.
By his statement,
Yeah.
he clearly is like, I agree with you, but we just can't do it that way.
Yeah.
So, I mean, at least he had some morals, even though he's a fuck. So.
Undeterred, Cameron took it to the appellate division of the Supreme Court of Alberta. This time, Justice Beck Stewart, C.J. Harvey, and J.J. Walsh also rejected his appeal.
Okay.
But Justice Stewart was very clear about his stance. He said, quote, we should declare that in our province that in our time, there's no legal reason to disqualify women from holding public office. And then he went on to say that they were returning to a more progressive view from the Middle Ages rather than the more restrictive views that had become popular in the 19th century. So, with that ruling, Alberta made history.
Oh, shit.
They became the very first province, I always say province to officially recognize women as legal persons with the right to hold public office.
So progressive.
The Calgary Daily Herald even ran a headline that said, judges find that Mrs. Jameson is legally appointed.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
But the rest of Canada...
Not so much.
Didn't see it that way.
Tell us about it.
I will.
Sweet.
Jameson continued her work as magistrate, and she eventually retired comfortably in 1931.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Cameron, meanwhile, kept up his successful career.
Good for him.
He kept practicing law into the 1930s and passed away in 1943.
Oh.
And now, because Jameson's ability to judge was confirmed, they also validated Cyr's sentence.
Of course, makes sense.
So she served 6 months at the Northwest Mounted Police Barracks in Fort McLeod.
There it is.
Sure. Which is about an hour and a half south of Calgary.
Right.
In pretty awful conditions. It was crowded, poor ventilation.
Well, you had said it's hard labor, too.
This is.
Right?
Yes, but we don't know what that hard labor was, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, it could have been chopping down trees or hunting Sasquatch. We don't know.
Or picking up a boulder, walking 30 feet, putting down a boulder, going back, picking up a boulder, walking 30 feet, putting down a boulder.
The problem is when you say boulder, every time, I know you're not a big Indiana Jones fan, or haven't seen him that much, but I just think of the first movie and I'm just like the boulder rolling down. So
that reference was a movie with Robert Redford.
Okay.
The Last Castle, I think, is the name of the movie.
James Gandolfini?
That's right.
Yep.
Yeah, one of his punishments as a prisoner was to pick up a massive boulder, walk 30 feet, put it down, and go back and pick up another boulder, and it was massive and heavy.
I guess I just think of boulder as being bigger than someone being able to pick up. So maybe a giant rock? But either way.
A very large rock, yes. Okay, so in
Details,
1922.
Yeah, good year.
A Lizzie Cyr, we don't know if it's the Lizzie Cyr, but a Lizzie Cyr was working.
So there could be multiples?
Lizzie Cyr was working as a waitress at the King Edward Hotel in Pincher Creek near Fort Macleod.
Okay.
There were other people with the last name Cyr there, so maybe she connected with family at that time.
Sure, possible.
But after that, Lizzie Cyr kind of fades into historical records.
Obscurity?
Yeah. So it is pretty sad because it is pretty common that a lot of métis sex workers ended up that way.
Sure.
So remember I said that there was a major legal development earlier?
Yes, you had mentioned that.
Yes, and that the rest of Canada didn't recognize women as legal persons with the right to hold public office.
So with the whole not recognizing to be legal persons, what exactly does that mean?
Oh, I will tell you.
Oh, thank goodness, because...
But...
Yes.
You have to wait.
Oh, fucking shit.
For part 2 of this story, which will be next week. Hey, this is a 2-parter. Hey, just so you know, number 2, you don't have to role play with me.
Oh, thank God. Good Lord.
So you get to wait to see what happens.
I'll be waiting with...
bated breath.
I was going to say that, but I was trying to think of something more Canadian. I got nothing.
Bated breath. Bated breath.
What's it all about?
Okay. This is our very first 2-parter. How do you feel about that?
I feel weird. Because we've talked about...
Because you don't know the ending of the story?
Yeah. I feel like cliffhangers aren't my thing.
Yeah.
But... we've talked about doing 2-parters before. Mm-hmm. And
we just kind of squeeze it into a longer episode.
We do. And we usually like to keep our episodes around a certain time frame. Just, because we don't want to lose Al's interest. But yeah, no, it's weird because now I don't know. And it's kind of infuriating. I want to know what it's all about. This beer is really good, though.
Well, I will tell you, it does involve what is known as the famous 5.
Fox Force 5. Do you know what that movie that's from?
No.
Pulp Fiction.
Ah.
Yes.
Great movie. Don't remember that part.
It's the pilot she did for the TV, because John Travolta's character, Vincent Vega, took Mia Wallace out. Wow, you didn't slam your beer down. And he wanted to know she was an actress, but she only did a pilot.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And the name of the show was Fox Force 5.
And okay.
Her character always told jokes, and she told the one about the Mama Tomato and Dad Tomato, whatever, and the other little tomato. He was walking behind, just catch up after he smushed him. Anyways, I know I didn't do it justice.
Sounds like a joke my mom would make.
Yeah, maybe. But
except for she spells ketchup like catsup.
Catsup?
Like CATSUP. Yeah,
I got that.
At least the last time I saw her write the word.
Didn't you just show me a recipe that was with your mom?
Oh, potentially, yeah. Definitely.
I think that's...
Yeah, my grandma's chicken gumbo sloppy joes.
But it was your mom's handwriting, right?
And she wrote catsup.
Yeah, because I made a comment about that, actually. Yeah. Because I always think it's funny when people put catsup instead of ketchup. It's usually a geographic type thing, isn't it?
Well, I mean, we both grew up in Nebraska, and I spell it with a K, so I don't know.
It makes sense. Nebraska, corn, C, catsup. I get it.
So am I saying it wrong then, or spelling it wrong?
Apparently.
I'm going to Google this. Catsup versus
and obviously
ketchup.
Kate's mom, I'm joking about the C and the corn and the catsup. I hope you understand I'm always joking.
Always.
Literally all the time. So I apologize.
So Ketchup
Yeah. There is a reason for it, right?
is usually used in the South.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And it originated from a Chinese fish sauce,
Really?
which was brought to Europe and then westernized.
I never heard that before.
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting.
And then the Heinz Company.
Did you know ketchup wasn't always green? Or it wasn't always red? It used to be green?
Yes,
That's
I think
what
I did
meant to
know
say.
that. Yeah. The Heinz Company
Yeah.
used ketchup,
Yeah.
but then later switched to ketchup to distinguish their product.
And also, if I'm not mistaken, the whole reason, and like you never knew what was actually in it. It was literally just to mask the terrible taste of the meat and try and make it better. And then it actually started being made out of tomatoes and stuff.
And now
actually
it's a
being
condiment
real
that
thing
people love.
That it's probably, I mean, I'm not saying I'm right here by any stretch, but it's got to be one of the, if not the most used, one of the most used
Probably.
condiments
Ever.
Because burgers, fries, hot dogs, whatever it might be, lots of different shit. So.
Does your son Xavier like ketchup now? Because I know for a while he wasn't into condiments.
So it's funny because literally last night, he's very picky, as you know.
Yeah.
And he there's these certain Lunchables. You've had a Lunchable before, right?
For sure.
So there's certain ones that comes with chicken nuggets
Yeah.
and ketchup to dip them in.
Yeah.
He loves that.
He likes the ketchup with it.
Yeah,
Okay.
he dips his chicken nuggets into the ketchup.
ketchup,
And it's
yeah.
funny because these Lunchables, I mean, they're cold. So they're cold chicken nuggets into cold ketchup.
Which he doesn't really care. Or he doesn't.
No.
That doesn't bother him.
He
that
actually
they're cold.
prefers colder food, I guess, to warmer food. I mean, like when I make him a pizza, if I make him a frozen pizza at home,
Yeah.
he'll
wait for it to cool down.
Wait for it to be cold. Yeah, cool down, cold, whatever you want to say. But yeah. And in my kitchen this time of the year, you've been there, it's chilly. So it cools down rather quick.
Yeah.
But well, it's funny because for dinner last night, I actually had Vesper and him had those Lunchables. So it's kind of funny. But the problem is Vesper, so it comes with 4 nuggets, ketchup to dip it in, and 2 cookies.
I'm going for the cookies.
Well, you need to talk to my daughter.
Oh, we'll fight for each other. Fight for them. Okay. She'll get one and I get one.
You'll have to fight her for that one because she ate both of hers. And then Xavier usually doesn't like the cookies, which is kind of odd. Mm-hmm. And they're basically like generic Oreos.
Yeah.
So I'm like, can I have them? Sure. He gave them to me. I ate them and she finished. I'm like, you have to eat your chicken nugget first. And she's like, more cookie? Mm-hmm. I'm like, you have to eat your chicken nugget. And then she took a bite and then she ate her cookies. I'm like, that's not enough. But then she starts searching for brothers. I'm like, oh, shoot.
You ate them.
Maybe I shouldn't have ate those. So then I had a third one. He wanted more. I gave him the third one. I'm like, can I give Vesper one of the cookies? He's like, yeah. So Big Brother came in the clutch there and helped his sister out. So, But it's super cute. Anyways.
How'd we go on the ketchup talk?
Ketchup. Wow.
Doesn't matter.
We really went on a tangent there.
Yeah, we did. Okay, so how did you like your Maharaja?
Maharaja. It's delicious. I finished 2 of them. I'm feeling it. Kind of want a third. So, Al, again, thank you for the suggestion on this. I know you work for them, so you're a little biased, but I see why, because it was delicious. And it also says mighty, dank, smooth. They ain't joking.
I liked my Liney's. I literally just opened up my second one while you were talking about your kids.
Yeah, you did. But no, this was delicious. So
awesome.
I'm glad you like your Liney's. I know it's not Modelo, but it's a nice little alternative.
It's an alternative. Yeah, it's a great alternative. Different. Yeah, and so, I really like the bright green can. I really, really like the bright green can.
I mean, I'll have to have a shandy. You'll have to have one of those one of these days.
Yes.
I mean, it's pretty good. So, yeah, I'll have to try one of yours as well next time you have them because I'm curious because, I used to sell a bunch of Liney's. I like their products. I like what they are. I don't like that they're not brewed in Chippewa Falls anymore, but so it goes.
Where is Chippewa Falls?
It's up towards like the northwest side of Wisconsin, towards Minnesota kind of. Was that? I always get my towns mixed up. La Crosse, right? Is that right?
I don't go that direction.
Well, not many people do. I still find it funny because it's like flavor of the Northwoods. It's not the Northwoods, in my opinion. My parents are from the Northwoods.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're from up north. That's like mid-north.
Okay.
But either way.
Yeah.
That's maybe me nitpicking there. So, but no, I like Leinie's. I like Summer Shandy. I wish they'd bring some of their old classics back, like Big Butt Doppelbock. But either way, such a great logo.
Just so you can say the name.
Well, yeah, Big Butt. Give me another Big Butt, sir.
Doppelbock?
Doppelbock. Yes.
Doppelbock.
Yes.
Yeah. Super fun.
German word. Yep.
Cool.
For sure.
Well,
I suppose. All right, buffoons. That's it for today's episode.
buckle up because we've got another historical adventure waiting for you next time. Feeling hungry for more buffoonery? Or maybe you have a burning question or a wild historical theory for us to explore?
Hit us up on social media. We're History Buffoons Podcast on YouTube, X, Instagram, and Facebook. You can also email us at historybuffoonspodcast@gmail.com. We are Bradley and Kate. Music by Corey Akers.
Follow us wherever you get your podcasts and turn those notifications on to stay in the loop.
Until next time, stay curious and don't forget to rate and review us.
Remember, the buffoonery never stops.